Good afternoon from TalkRadio.nyc. We're at the happy spot. This is Jack Thomas. I have the graces of Ryan Maher and Frank Maher. What are we going to talk about at the happy spot today? We discuss, as we always do, all about the biohacking the mind and how everyday people can live extraordinary lives and make happiness part of their daily habit. So we all have our daily habits. Wake up in the morning, I pray, give thanks to God I made it, love myself. Don't forget the bathroom, coffee, and oral hygiene. How does that play into our happiness? We're going to learn about that from Ryan and Frank Maher. But first, for a moment, I want to touch upon last week what we talked about. At the happy spot, we're using the mind, our body, and our breath on how do we heal ourselves within a corporate environment. So everybody at the happy spot that works for the company, and we have multiple people around the country. We have Anshar in Virginia. We have Emily in Pittsburgh. We have our marketing team in New York, New Jersey. And we just brought on our radio team in New York City. Everybody gets the card for their happiness. Quite often in the medical world, even I work with a large corporation, we're all given different tools, but how do you use it? So at the happy spot, we help people on how to use it. So for me, the way I was taught, and I like to always focus back, I'm originally from New York, grown, born and bred, fourth generation Ashkenazi Jew, and people want to negotiate with me. You don't even stand a chance. Why do we even have to go down that path when we get into buying something expensive? But don't worry, because I'm global class. And my friends today are from New Jersey, and they're no different than I. There's a respect that we have for each other, but we focus local. And we focus local. And what does that mean? In oral hygiene and happiness, I'm going to turn the floor over to Ryan Maher. In the dental world for over 30 years that I know of, multiple practices, extremely kind and empathetic. And Frank Maher, who's the business brains that has helped operating and coordinating his transfer of traits. Frank has been in multiple industries, and every time he does, he accelerates to the top. There's a practice, there's a generational piece that I know that they learned from their family. So that's what we're going to be here today. Oral hygiene. How do we get to happy on oral hygiene? Dr. Ryan Maher.
Well, first of all, Jack, thank you for having me. I really do truly appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. You talk about oral hygiene, and you're talking about a little bit about biohacking. It's important to know, for individuals to know that the oral cavity, we have normal bacteria, normal flora in our mouths that could potentially travel through our bloodstream and create unwanted disease. So it's important to keep not only your mindset of a biohacker healthy, but also your oral cavity healthy so that we don't run into other types of diseases.
Great, thank you. And what are some things that you're hearing in the marketplace and magazines and information you read about happiness within the dental community? Because I've also heard that you guys are always under a lot of pressure and it's a very stressful career. So what are you doing for happiness for yourself and for your employees?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I can definitely elaborate on that quite a bit. I'll try to minimize my content. The first thing that I think is super important as a team, you go out for some just team building exercise, and that could just be going out for a couple appetizers together, or doing a true team building experience like bowling or something else, whatever it is that can join your team together. I think that really gets their mind off of the dental office and more as we're more a family than we are employees or coworkers. So I think that that's something that I've done over the past many years that's really brought our team together more as a family than as workers or coworkers. And that certainly you can tell in the offices that I own that their mindset is different. They come in happy. And they certainly leave happy. We all know that work is work, but we want to do our best to try to be as less stressed or as least stressed as possible during those 6, 8, 10 hours, whatever we're in the office for. As far as from a lifestyle home standpoint, I love spending time with my wife and my kids. My two kids are off to college. We do get down to see them, be it in Louisiana, LSU to see my son, be it in North Carolina down in Elon to see my daughter. Uh, just to see them, to hug them, to be with them is de-stressful. It's de-stressing. It's just it just I'm sure when you hug your child, you know that feeling. That's just everything kind of goes away, all the bad stuff, all the stress in our lives. So that's important. And then just Jennifer and I being empty nesters, going out together, doing like a date night, whether it's just getting a dinner or going to a movie, getting ice cream, doing nothing, watching an episode of Friends or something at home, just spending some time together, quality time together, and not worrying about picking up the phone and dealing with office related stuff.
That's great. Thank you so much. And that supports the remedy that I had Dr. Donat, right, that I've been using for my wellness for many years. Just recently, I was diagnosed of being neurodiverse. And so my mind moves in different directions. So basically, I'm old enough that I have ADHD. And as my kids say, I got a little bit of the autism. And when we were younger, they didn't have diagnosis for that, but we were given different tools. And for me, it was martial arts, breathing, and having those friends to share it with. So hearing that, spending that time with the family and the friends, that's a key thing that we always put out there in the regiment, and making sure you're getting that hugging time in. So really appreciate hearing that. And Frank, I'd love to turn to you and have a little bit of the feedback. I'm going to go back history and time. I always like to go point to point. So I'm going to go to my point of my dental history, and it's a real New York, let me negotiate a deal for you. So I was 14, I had my front tooth knocked out, hockey, Matt Jablon, boom, took it right out. We go to the dentist in Great Neck. So I grew up in a nice neighborhood, but Great Neck at the time was the fancy neighborhood. The dentist was in the big New York magazine, and my dad was old school. It was a deal was a deal. So it was $2,000 to get the tooth done. And how do I remember 2000? Because when on the fifth visit, when he was going to fit it in, my father said, "We're good." I said, "No, Dad, we still owe him 500. He goes, "Nah, tell him we're good." I said, "Dad, it's my front teeth. It's my ego. You're 14, right?" So I got my dad, convinced him. He gave me the 500. I told him, "I'll negotiate like my father asked me to, but first, can I have him put the tooth in?" Now, back then, Jack Thomas, that's just how it was. Now you come 40 years later and your bills are even bigger, and the stress of a family, and I have kids, and just redid my front teeth in the past few years. So what do you got out there that's a hacking move or something that is different that I know that you guys have been working with for over 20 years? So Frank, please fill us in on that affordability of the program.
Yeah, Jack, thank you so much for having us on. It's it's a lot of fun, especially seeing you in your element there, surrounded by some really great artwork behind you there. I'm sure that's going to find its way, unless that's exactly how it's going to stay, knowing you. It has its own dimension and its own space. Yeah, so thanks again for having us on. My name's Frank Maher. Back in 2000, my brother Ryan and I, Ryan was the brainchild of it. I give it to him, knowing that he had to find a way to offer patients coming into his office that just had no means to pay for that front tooth that you were mentioning, and no negotiating skills like you, Jack. So they came in with, hand out, what can we do? And as a dentist and a professional, you just can't discount your rates. It's just not an acceptable format, right? There has to be some substance behind that. So the concept was, well, if I accept dental insurance as a dentist, then I agree with that dental insurance provider to discount my rates to that dental insurance company. And if that crown that you needed was $2,000, perhaps the dental insurance company only lets me charge $800 for it. So why not create a spin-off and take it outside of the insurance world and think outside the box? And hence Mainline Dental Plan was born, an alternative to dental insurance. So at a very reasonable cost, as low as $116 a year for a single member, that new member of Mainline Dental Plan can utilize a network of vetted professionals people that are going to be vetted the same way insurance companies would vet dentists, quality dentists all around the country. And we continue to build on that network, but especially here in our home base of New Jersey. They can go into these providers, they can get their diagnosis and find out what it is they need to have done. And they can simply look right on the website at mainlinedentalplan.com. If I need a cleaning, if I need a root canal, the prices are all listed there as a member, what they're going to have to pay out of pocket. Now, the dentist enjoys it because the member who walks in, their patient, pays them on the spot. They don't have to file claims with the insurance. There's no maximums. There's no limits to what the member could do. So they can put together a full treatment plan to look out for what's best for the oral health of their patient. And they can work through that treatment plan without worrying about, the normal worries that we all have when we have to work through the insurance world, right? What will be approved, what won't be approved, how many times we have to send the same claim in before we get paid on it. So it's been a win-win since February 2000 when this kicked off, and we continue to build on it. We've recently redone our website to make it a little bit easier, and it's primarily a 100% website-based membership program. So we do have a phone number, we do have emails to communicate with, but we make it very simple where once the member is involved, it's as easy as jumping on the website to see. Any dentist that signs up in the plan and we vet them, it's as easy as entering in the member's ID number to see if they're active or inactive and if their additional family members are covered as well. So it really works out nice. And, somebody in your situation back there could have benefited from it back in the day.
Well, thank you. And that brings me up. We had some conversations beforehand. So I'm going to ask 3 ways of how people can have a benefit today. In other words, I have dental insurance now, and you and I spoke, right? We also talked about a friend of mine that works within the union world and representing unions as a dentist, or just a regular employee who may be a sole practitioner of a business and has no insurance. So 3 different scenarios. Right? Can all 3 partake in your program?
Absolutely. And one of the great things with the program, and I could let Ryan speak to this a little bit more, but if you have dental insurance already, a lot of times if you look at that plan, it really doesn't give you the full coverage that you need, even to go in and get something done as simple as a crown. You need a post and core, you need the crown, you might need a root canal before all that got started. And boom, you're through your $1,000 for the year limit, and now you're coming right out of pocket. So Ryan, I'll turn it over to you. In that scenario, if they had Mainline Dental Plan as the alternative insurance, and then they had whatever the carrier may be, XYZ insurance company for their dental, and they came into you, how does that bill out, Ryan?
So I'm going to interject so I've just been put on notice. We're going to go into a break. So sure. Let's pick that right up with Ryan. And we will rephrase the question and then go through that again, because the technical aspect of it, this is really great information that people normally don't get, but to have the 2 of you here, thank you so much. We're going to move to break right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on TalkRadio.nyc.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on TalkRadio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on TalkRadio.nyc.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on TalkRadio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
All right, thank you. So today I was in a conference call. I'd like to defer to myself as an entrepreneur, by the way, global class entrepreneur. You gentlemen are no longer entrepreneurs. You're now intrapreneurs, and here's why. I work and I'm a founding member of the Octopus Movement, neurodiverse out of the Netherlands. This information will go out there. And so recently, someone said to me in business, "Oh, you're very creative. I like your ideas. You're very entrepreneurial." And I said, "Listen, 4 generations, New York City, an entrepreneur, that's like an insult. You know, we were taught how to do this. We live this. It's who we are. So now to be an entrepreneur, that was a new one because technology is allowing us to do that. So it's great to hear how you're using technology and computers, but I'd love to go back to the question of there are 3 strategies. Number 1 is I have insurance. Can I use your plan? The answer is yes. I have friends of mine that are in unions. They have their own plan. We compare notes. Can they use it? And third is that small business owner that really makes up the backbone of America, and specifically New York and New Jersey. Can they use the plan? And so, Ryan, if you want to just kind of take that ball and, give us some insight that we should know about that, you hear orally. This is the wealth, by the way, everyone. This is generational wealth. It's the oral handing down, right? We could all read it, but then it's now the exchange. Ryan, floor is yours.
Thank you. So I love the word hack that you're using. It's awesome. And this is a true hack. So the first person you're talking about has dental insurance, right? So they're like, okay, whatever my benefits are, that's what I'm going to do. And the dental office will tell me what my co-payments are. With Mainline Dental Plan, you can also combine with your insurance and you're going to lower your cost out of pocket substantially. So let's just say Frank was talking about a crown, and the crown being, let's say the dentist charges 1,000, but the insurance says that you can only charge 800, and the insurance will pay 400 of that. Well, your responsibility might be 400, but if you had combined with the Mainline Dental Plan and the insurance, your copayment should be reduced even more so. So that applies to fillings, crowns, extractions, root canals, any type of dental procedure that's out there. You can combine those benefits and save the money greatly for as low as $116, I think Frank said, for the year. Well, if you're going to save more than $116, which you would if you need dental treatment, that's a huge benefit for the individual that has insurance. Certainly that needs dental treatment. If they just need a cleaning or 2 cleanings per year, maybe a different story. But most individuals that come into the dental office do need treatment. So that helps that individual out right there. And then the next one you were talking about is unions. So define that a little bit more for me, Jack, so that I can delve into that for you.
Sure. So I have a friend of mine. He has a dental practice, childhood friend, and the family has serviced local unions within the Queens, Brooklyn area. I couldn't be more specific than that. I don't know the nuances, but just kind of taking those big plans. And my mother, thank God, retired as a New York City school teacher, right, at 81. So she always says, I got the best of everything, right? And sometimes they really do. So she also being in a union. So there's all different scenarios, just kind of high level opinion on that.
Right. So I think unions are, they're really, really good for usually, well, I would say almost always for the member. Sometimes not only always for the dentist. The dentist may say, hey, I don't want to reduce my fees that much. So maybe if there's going to be a union between the dentist, mainline dental plan, and the actual union, joining forces, that can certainly help the dentist possibly, benefit as well by joining up with that mainline dental plan. But also being the member of that union where you do have the best of pretty much everything. Not all unions will cover everything at 100%. There are a lot of unions that I participate with, but they don't cover everything at 100%. And with those lower fees associated, now without using that other insurance company, but using this union, so to speak, now that member joins up with mainline dental plan, that may reduce it to zero overall. And we can't be assure or guarantee to say, hey, if you have both now, your out of pocket will be zero. But the lower the out of pocket expenses are for the member, the union member, the lower or closer it gets to zero out of pocket for that individual. So those union plans are fantastic, and couple that with another plan, even more of a benefit for that member.
And so I loved how so that is a hack because you're integrating two dissimilar scenarios for the ultimate outcome for the person. So we here, right at the Happy Spot, work with everyday people that live extraordinary lives. So Frank, I'm going to touch upon something here, shifting gears just a little bit.
So Jack, if you don't mind, I'll just touch on that last thing for a minute.
Yes.
If you don't mind. The small business owner who may not have any dental benefits, right? Fear and money are the two main reasons why people do not go to the dentist. And obviously, if you don't go for either one of those reasons, you could be creating harm for your body overall. So with having that small business owner, if they have no means to get dental insurance because it's way too expensive, this is just another alternative that really can help them out and for a low cost and take advantage of a big savings.
So thank you for that. So I was looking for a note I had made earlier, so I lost my thought there. Frank, you were talking about affordability and cost. For our listeners that are out there, New York and New Jersey, I know that you're in multiple other states, but right now our focus is how we serve local. We are scaling global, but what discounts, what kind of deals can you give my people?
Yeah, so first off, I want them to go to the website, and there's two ways to get there. The one is the long way. That's mainlinedentalplan.com, which is all one word, or they can just do mdpsmile.com, and that'll bring them to the same spot. Once they're there, they can search for a dentist. So they can then put the dentist name that they go to. They can search by zip code to see if there's a dentist in their area. They can send an email into us saying, I noticed that my dentist isn't listed. We'll be happy to reach out for their dentist to see if they'd be interested. A lot of the dentists are unaware of these plans. And when they see the rates that our members pay them directly without the hassles of filing claims and having their front desk do a lot of additional work, they're happy to take our plan because it's on par with a lot of the dental plans, which is empowering our members, empowering your listeners, empowering the small business owners that don't have the means to set up these huge dental costs, for their employees. And instead, we customize those plans for those small business owners that have 5, 10, 15 employees, and they want to offer some type of discount, some type of generosity towards making sure that their employees, their family, as Ryan put it earlier, are taking care of themselves. And from the employee, their spouses, their children, that they're getting their oral health looked after and they're taking care and practicing good oral hygiene. For your listeners, we set up a code. If you would go to the website, mainlinedentalplan.com, upon membership, there's a little coupon section, and we made a coupon code, just radio. So for Jack Thomas and his listeners, radio, we'll give them 10% off of the membership. There's a variety. You can sign up as a single member. You can sign up as you and your significant other. You can sign up as a family. And there's different payment methods. You can set up where you pay one shot for the year. You can pay semi-annually or quarterly. So it makes it affordable. Again, we're thinking of the member. We're thinking of bringing that member to a good quality dentist so they can receive that care that's going to, keep them smiling and being happy.
That's great. Thank you so much for that. And if just as a follow-up, if you could send those links, and Emily on my team will then place it in the email that will be going out through TalkRadio.nyc so people will have access to it. Also, this will go out as a podcast. It'll go out on multiple channels. So thousands of people will be receiving this. And I really hope that people take advantage of your generosity. And so thank you for offering that. Question on age groups. So for me, at 57, I look at my mom, 81, and I have kids, 27, 25. So mom is in Florida, daughter's in LA, son is in Colorado, I'm in Jersey. Number one, they don't live at home anymore. Could I have them on the plan? How does that work? I normally go off the rules of health insurance at 26. I told my daughter, you're out. My son, he should be out, but he'll be out next year. But it's 26 right now. The phone bill, now we all know that, right? Our generation, I don't know if anyone's figured it out, but I think we're going to pay for their phone bill until they're my mother's age at 81. Because that's just the way our society is moving. But how does that work for kids in your plan?
So in our plan, when you reach adulthood at age 18, you become accountable for yourself. And at 18, you would be a single member and you'd go on your own. So children in the same household with you under 18 years old can be on the plan and they would all be covered. And again, that it's a super reasonable expense. Like Ryan said earlier, just going in for your normal 2 cleanings a year, it evaporates the membership that you put out there, what you're going to save just on those visits, let alone getting into actual dental treatment plans that you may need.
So speaking of 2 visits, I'm going this week. I am going this week for my my cleaning, and my I've been going there for 30 years. And so Adrian, hey, and whatever Adrian says, you're not going to, if you're with a dentist for 30 years, you trust them. And I'm getting older. I'm like, what's with all the yellowing? I can't brush harder. You have to come. I have to go 3 times a year. So Ryan, that's what we're going to pick up on. Is this a hustle? Am I being hustled 3 times a year? Should I buy a better toothpaste? We're going to go to break in a minute, and we're going to pick up the question. You dental guys and gals, we trust you. So now we're going to hear the truth. Maybe I'm just poor at brushing my teeth. We're going to go to break. Before we go to break, I will let you know that the sound that you're listening is also a wellness sound. It's a binaural beat. And so I use that at work now. So that sound is just a steady focusing sound. So if you notice at the Talk Radio Jack Thomas show, we're talking about the mouth today. We're talking about money in your hands, and we're talking about your ears and what you hear. Hopefully this is all good. We're off to break. Be right back, everyone. Thank you.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the Nonprofit Sector Connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on TalkRadio.nyc, I host a program, Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on TalkRadio.nyc.
Were you an essential worker during the pandemic? If you needed to learn stages of epilepsy, did you depend on advocates? Did you use new innovations to cope with mental and neurological issues? Maintaining high quality of life and keeping good mental health are what we all strive for. I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each week top healthcare influencers, professionals, and innovators answer these questions and more. Stay tuned on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on TalkRadio.nyc, and I will continue to be frank about health with all of you.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on TalkRadio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
I had to remember to unmute myself, gentlemen. Welcome back to the Happy Spot. This is Jack Thomas. We are targeting $100 million corporations up to $399 million. We know our services are being used by larger groups, and we need large companies so we can provide mental wellness to every one of your employees. How do we go about doing it? We come in and buy your worries. We'll make you a deal. We'll negotiate a fair deal. That's what we do at the Happy Spot. For me, if you look over my right shoulder, my happy spot, it's that yellow Corvette. It made me laugh so hard. I met an artist in New York City, Rich Beyer, giving you a shout out. I think you're fantastic. His cars, his eye on cars, the details of how he looks at it. For me, growing up as a kid, my favorite car was a blue Corvette. Scott Desjardins lived up the street. I remember clearly. And you'll see a blue, a black, a silver, but yellow, special, happy spot. It really brings that kind of eye and feel to it. And Ryan, we're going to come back to you and just continue in the world of oral happiness and hygiene. Question, should you brush once a day, twice a day? And am I getting hustled by my lady who I love dearly? I'm being told to go 3 times a year. And what do? Do I brush once or twice? And do I go 3 times a year, depending on age?
So great questions. So the brushing aspect, definitely twice a day. And you got to throw flossing in there as well. The way you do it is up to the dentist, hygienist, patient. I prefer to brush, floss, mouthwash, done. Because some people want to floss first and then brush, but twice a day, definitely. I don't think once a day is adequate. And certainly the more important time is at night, because our mouths dry up a little tiny bit more while we're sleeping. And then that's where bacteria really have a party in a drier oral environment. So certainly brush before to minimize or eliminate the bacteria that are bad in your mouth before you go to bed, but twice a day. And then going to the dentist, and you really nailed it when you said, hey, I trust, what's her name? Adrian. I trust Adrian. What Adrian says, I'm going with. You exude that confidence in that she's telling you the right thing. You have that feeling, that inner feeling that says, I really have that intuition that she's got me in my best interest. So the first thing I would say is, trust your professional, right? If you go in there and you think, hey, this seems like really like a little bit of a scam, or you may want to talk around and ask others if this is your first or second visit there. But if you've been there for a year, 5 years, 10 years, and you're comfortable, usually they're not going to try to brook you or try to pull a fast one on you and say, let's throw an extra cleaning in there per year. They're trying to maximize your health and try to put you on a path to stay where you're at or get better, but certainly not go in the wrong direction. I have many people on 3-month recalls, which is 4 times a year, and then others on 3 cleanings a year, and then the majority are on every 6 months. But the important take home there is, you really have to trust your professional because they can read the x-rays. They can see what's happening in between visits. And if you're getting a lot of buildup, tartar, calculus, plaque on a regular basis, you're one that needs to go a little bit more often.
Great, thank you. Frank, I want to turn this over to a little marketing online. I'm not going to divulge all your wisdom. You could talk about it. But the backdrop of your national level of marketing and the different scenarios on all levels, I'm always impressed with. But I had a situation with my son this year. He was out, he's in Colorado, he's 24 on his own. He was on my dental plan, shifting over into his new job. And he went to a dentist, and he's 24. He did it like all the other kids. He Googled it, and whatever search they did, found somebody local, found it was on the plan, went there. And my son called me up and said, "Hey, Dad, I need some money." I go, "What do you need some money for?" "Well, for the dentist." "For what?" I'm like, "Did you use all of it?" He's like, "No." He said, "I have like, I don't know, 7 cavities." And I'm like, "Dude, are you sleeping with candy in your mouth at night? Like, how do you get 7 cavities?" I get it. We're coming off the pandemic, and he hadn't been there in a little while. And, he's a male, and, we're just lazy by trade. I'm making fun of all of us. But 7 cavities, I called him out on it. We got into a little discussion, and he went out again, out online, and he went to another dentist also within our approved plan. And that guy said 1 tooth was all that was really needed. I didn't want to push the disgrace of this other one saying it's 7. But how do we know, right? How do you add validity of being that extra insurance? We trust, as Ryan said, our professional. I'm blessed. I'm here for 30 years with her. My kid is out there. He's just new. How do we find trust and validity, and how do we build our trust and validity in mainline? What can we know? What should we look for to know to believe in it?
Okay, so great points, Jack. And a horrible experience for your son, right? Coming on his own, trying to do the right thing and go take care of himself. His again, oral health, super important, right? So he makes the move, he does his research like so many people do. They just jump online and they read reviews of people they never met, they don't know, they have no reference behind, and they follow that review. And he ended up in a situation that unfortunately many people end up with. And that's not where we want to see. It's kind of like the beautiful automobile behind you and the stigma with automobile dealers, right? Some of them are going to be super transparent and honest, and others are going to play games that make the stigma and the stereotype out there of car dealers and car automotive. It makes that happen, right? So what can we do? So one thing that I like to tell people about Mainline Dental Plan is that it was created with a dentist and his brother. So this is a family affair. He's the dentist. He has the knowledge. Ryan is a stand-up, transparent person. And when you follow him and you see all the things that he puts out on social media with his practices, perfect smiles. One thing that Ryan did to really stand out of the crowd years ago, and I don't know if he has a copy of it handy, but he wrote a book, and it's called The Truth, Trooth, like tooth, The Truth in Dentistry. And he wrote that as the handbook, kind of like a dentistry for dummies, if you would. And he wrote that book so he can put that knowledge in the layperson's hand before they go out. Listen, red flag alert, right? Seven cavities and I feel great. Set red flag, right? So a treatment plan that, you've been to the dentist, you left, you moved to a new place, new dentist, and all of a sudden you need this humongous treatment plan with thousands of dollars. Red flag, right? So he put all that from a dentist standpoint and knowing his industry, same way, the industries that you've spent your time in and what happens through, and I have, and marketing that, we try to put that out when we bring a dentist into the plan. We want to know about that dentist, right? So we're going to do our marketing end, and we're going to hope that everything that we've done is going to give our member just a little bit more of a chance walking in to that practice. And we look for feedback from our members. If a member if we start getting, emails from members or phone calls from members stating that, this dentist is this dentist is that, we have no problem taking that dentist out of the plan. And that's what we want to do. So that's that vetting process, right? We want to give you some confidence that, utilizing the plan and going into any of the great dentists that we have in the plan, you're going to get what you need at an affordable price and good quality dental care. So I think that would speak some volumes, especially his book. And I didn't mean to plug it on you there, Jack, but great book. I'm very proud of my brother when he wrote that book. So.
And the show is really meant to be a free flow. So I'm glad you could put it out there. And that's what it's about. It's about the biology. It's about the hacking. It's about putting this new information, having conversations. I've been fortunate to know Frank for over 20 years. And we have different relationships. And so if Frank says it to me, I just trust it. It's like Adrian, I just trust it. And I think part of that also becomes our age, that yes, we know each other a long time, but by staying local and focusing local, we know who we are, and just bringing in other good people.
And Jack,
okay.
that's the core right there, right? It's like when you said to me, you know, Frank, I'd like to get you and your brother on this, you know, on this show, and this is what we're doing. I was like, you know, wow, you know, and whether it's hundreds of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, this is what our message is that, you know, there's always a way. You don't have to spend this much money to get, you know, that much service. And it's those hacks. And that was such a great, you know, way to look at it. It's figuring out a way to do it a little smarter and financially smarter for a lot of people that just don't have the means. I mean, everybody, you know, out there, that's the big buzz right now with inflation and everything happening. It's, you know, not having those extra dollars. And when people take those extra dollars that they don't have because they're using them elsewhere, they neglect, you know, their oral health care. Again, what Ryan said earlier, right? The fear of the dentist and money for the dentist. Those are the two reasons people don't go to take care of themselves. So to be able to help eliminate one of those and get that cost under control is great. And to spread the word, because I always said, if we can put videos out so people could understand how this works, it's a no-brainer. And I've always said it, it's a no-brainer. It's simple whether you have dental insurance and you need treatment plan, or you have no dental insurance and you want to use an alternative. This alternative is truly a no-brainer for people. And it makes us feel good. Every member that's in the plan, whether they call in, whether they send emails, just to know that we're helping others. You know, I've shared it with you many times through our long friendship, is that, you know, my purpose on this earth, I figured that out. It's something that, you know, again, your well-being, you need to know why you're here. I'm here to help others. So this is a part of what I do. It's just one more little piece, and we could do it in this particular segment in oral health. So
that's awesome. Thank you so much. Ryan, Perfect Smiles, online, if people Google it, Perfect Smiles, is there anything else that they should be looking for more information about your practice? If they, right, Frank made reference of it, YouTube, right? Are the things that you're looking at that others should look at, that so it adds some validity to what we're talking about today?
Yeah, so perfectsmilesllc.com is the website. You'll get some social media content from me at Dr. Ryan Maher, Instagram and Facebook, or Perfect Smiles LLC, Facebook, Instagram. And you'll see on that that I'm a normal person. I'm a human being. And when I do dentistry, I'm serious. I lock in and really treat every single person as if they're my family. Every single person. It's been, if you look at my reviews, I respond to every single one of them. Over 450, 500 reviews, every single one I've responded back to them. And all of them have something to do with, hey, thank you for being part of our family. So you'll see me in the light of a possibly some funny, some serious, some different type of stuff that maybe you don't see your dentist doing, but I want to convey to the individual that I'm a normal human being. I'm a family member. I'm a brother. I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm an uncle. I'm a cousin. I'm a family person that likes to have fun also. If, you know, some people may look at dentists as like a scientist or, you know, some nerdy person. We're human too. And I want to convey that to people. Go ahead.
So that's great. So we're about to move into break. I went a little over,
Yep.
so excuse my interruption there. We're going to pick up on family, oral hygiene. That'll be the topic. Thank you so much as we move into our break.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on TalkRadio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to the hard skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on TalkRadio.nyc.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on TalkRadio.nyc, I host a program, Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on TalkRadio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays, 12 noon on TalkRadio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Coming back to TalkRadio.nyc, we're at the happy spot, and we have the fortune of Ryan Maher and Frank Maher learning about affordability and oral health and hygiene. We were just coming up upon family talk, and this is the part I'm going to throw out there. It's so hard to get that through on a local, international, wherever you are. But I have the good fortune of knowing Frank and Ryan's other brother. I know the history of their mom and their dad and being in the community and how they served people. It's hard to just say that unless you feel it. So hopefully you could hear those words and the sounds that we were talking about. We could hear the sweetness of what Ryan is talking about. And so I want to just kind of throw a silly idea in the mental wellness. So I'm a yogi every day. I'm doing some type of practice of breathing. And, when I hear the oral hygiene, right, you made reference of disease. Sometimes we have disease in our thoughts and our mind. So I use a chant lately. I just want to put it in your head and you could curse me later, right? So those negative thoughts, when they come to our mind, I recite to myself, oh no, I think they gotta go. Oh no, I think they gotta go. Now I got that chant in college at a bar, and I still use it for my own little thing to help myself. So Ryan, I'm going to add the floor back to you as we have a few moments left here of kind of the little things that we could do for our daily habits. You mentioned one or two, but what are some other things, putting oral on the side? I know we really touched upon it, but as a medical practitioner, what are some things people could do for their jaw, for their TMJ, for their ears, the whole connection? It's the whole deal, right? Because in my head, oh no, I think they gotta go. Too many voices going on. Your turn, Ryan.
Yeah, so if I have to put it on a percentage standpoint, I like to use the number 50%. I think more than 50% of people in the Northeast, let's call that tri-state area, have some type of TMD, which is temporomandibular joint dysfunction. And where are a high level of stresses up in the Northeast where we live, the tri-state area? Do I think they're all related to that? No, it could be a bite issue. You just had some recent dentistry done and the tooth doesn't feel right. That could create actually a TMD situation. It certainly could be stress. It could be alcohol consumption. It's a big thing that I'm correlating. It could be just the fact that you're clenching and let's say you're at the gym and you continue to clench, those muscles are firing. See if you can get something to alleviate that. And I don't want to say like a night guard over the counter. You want something a little bit more custom fitted so that you don't cause more trauma or damage. But if you're in that scenario just at the gym where you're clenching, you can use something like that. You really want to also, like when you get knots in your neck or your back, what do? We go to the massage therapist, maybe the physical therapist, maybe the chiropractor. You want to get those people involved as well in your temporomandibular joint or your musculature, the masseter muscle. And you don't want those firing a lot. You want to decrease the stresses on that muscle or those muscles. So you may want to use more than just your dentist from that standpoint. You want a multidisciplinary, either physical therapist or chiropractor, dentist, or the three of them, and massage therapist too.
So that's great. So a piece to throw out to you. So Greg, who's our acupuncturist, is not here today, had some other commitments. But I've been first time going to an acupuncturist in my 57 years. He's done some great work for me. He was referred to me. But the part he taught me was there are acupuncturists that just do tongues. He said he does the whole body. He goes, he can do a tongue. He goes, but some people just do tongues. It's that important in the care of our mouth. Just kind of throwing that out there. I am sometimes a wealth of completely useless information, right? I just found it. I find it so interesting that someone with acupuncture, it's been a fantastic thing. Frank, you came on here today. What are some pearls of wisdom you want to leave us with? Because you've been in this industry for so long that as from that friendship model, how do you want the other people to hear your voices? We're going to kind of move towards the end here.
So if there's one thing that I can just get out there, and it really is, it almost bothers me when I think about all of the people that don't go to a dentist, and they really, the majority of them really don't know what they're doing to their body. And I agree with Ryan because he knows his trade, and he's a professional and he studies constantly, and it is all about the fear, and it's also about money. But there's one thing that we didn't mention, and it's an emotion. It's embarrassment. I smile and I'm missing teeth. I smile and my teeth are all crooked, or they're just riddled with plaque and rot because I haven't cared for them for so long. And that's okay. I want people to know that's okay. It's a time to make a change. And that's what you do for people every day, Jack. I mean, I've known you so long. You're always looking to show people the light. And this is an opportunity for me coming on today to say, hey, it's okay. No matter how good or bad it is, you're better off getting yourself in front of a professional. And it's not just the dentist, right? It's the acupuncturist, it's the psychiatrist, it's the heart doctor, it's your well-being, taking care of you. There's only one of you, and you can't take care of anything around you if you don't take care of yourself first. So put your embarrassments aside, put your fear aside. You can ask friends. One thing that my brother has always been known for is being a gentle dentist. And a lot of good dentists use that term. And it's the term not only with their technique, but with their demeanor, and that they understand the fear and they understand how to address it. I was never a big fan of the dentist. I'm still not. Thankfully, I have my brother there, right? But I went to a dentist long before my brother was a dentist because I knew that I had to take care of myself. And that's the one message that I wanted to get out. If your listeners want to take advantage of the code radio on mainlinedentalplan.com and get some extra savings, if they want to look into the money, if they want to reach out to me and shoot me an email at info@mdpsmile.com, I'd be happy to answer additional questions. But what I'd like to come away with today is knowing that we helped just a few more people realize the importance of your oral health.
Well, I'm going to say thank you because I got confirmation. I've been brushing 2 times, so I'm good. I'm accepting the 3 times, right? I had one question though before we continue. It's about age. So the longevity of us living longer, and looking at my mom at 81, and she tells me she's good, so I leave her alone. She has all her plans. But is there an age cutoff on like at age 18? But if I have someone who owns their business and he's 78 or she's 78, do you have an age cutoff, or does everybody qualify?
So Jack, that's the best part. Everybody qualifies. There's no pre-existing condition clauses when you sign up with Mainline Dental Plan.
That's huge, everybody. So I really, really, really want everyone to kind of hear that out loud, because we're all living longer. Thank God there is health out there and taking care of ourselves. But when we're out there, we want to be able to, right, eat our pizza, right? We want to be a gavone, right? Because it's the flavor and the food of living local, being local. My kids, everyone says, oh, your kids are out west. I said, no. We got good cookies and good pizza. Even I'm originally from New York. I'm going to go visit my mom tomorrow. Going to see the accountant. Jersey, we got better pizza. We got better bakeries. It keeps you dentist guys. It keeps you busy. I get it. I'm grateful that the two of you were able to join today. Thank you for the insight, the information. But we're going to be rounding out the show, and I'm going to wish everyone a great evening. Thank you for coming to the Happy Spot.
Thank you for having us, Jack. Keep
you,
that
Jack.
smile working. Be happy.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC.